think about America 250. And, we knew that we wanted at the time to do something we wanted to do something with the Declaration of Independence, since that is sort of that jumping off point for that America 250 recognition. And, as we were going through the planning and development stages, some of you might know we had the unfortunate situation happen this spring where our federal funding was terminated. And so plans suddenly sort of slid sideways as to what we would be able to do for the 250th. But we knew it was important and we knew we still wanted to do something having to do with the Declaration of Independence. But our idea was that we were going to have to scale down, scale back. So Tracy and I found that the Gilder Lehrman Institute for American History had this really wonderful pop-up exhibit called Declaration 1776, The Big Bang of Modern Democracy. And we thought, let's just see if we can get a copy of that. We'll circulate it around the state, maybe 8 or 10 locations, and we'll be able to at least be part of the conversation about America 250. So we put out a call for applications to host. Again, just keep in mind, we were like, okay, we can probably handle 8 to 10. And Tracy can give you more details, but we came up with about 60 applications by the end of the day. We were just overwhelmed from across the state, from universities and higher education, community colleges, to small rural libraries and museums and historical societies. And it was such an incredible problem to have that we immediately set to work about how do we solve this. And so we began fundraising as much as we could. And then we decided we need to reach out to organizations that have some capacity to meet an audience that we don't often always work with. And that is universities, higher education, places that have kind of that student population in and out. Humanities Kansas is known for the public humanities, working primarily with that smaller cultural sector in our state, museums and public libraries and historical societies. So we're just incredibly grateful for all of you to agree to be a hub site because we have so much at stake here to talk about our Declaration of Independence. And you have this opportunity to have students coming in and breathing in these conversations that are really about what the future of how we interpret and how we think about America's founding document. We're also really grateful for places like the Kansas State Historical Society for being a hub site, so it can be part of their exploration of Kansas 1776 and what that looks like. So really the creative ways in which each of you proposed to us how you wanted to be involved has really just been inspiring in every way. And having you as hub sites has also enabled us to then reach out and work with, I don't know, 40 some organizations who will have the exhibit for a month. That map of distribution of how many Kansans are going to have access to the Declaration of Independence is incredible. And we're just so grateful that you're a part of it. But I know you're not on this webinar Zoom meeting to hear me talk about how fantastic this all is. You want to know some practical things about what the expectations are. What can you expect when the exhibit arrives? And so with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Tracy and look forward to hearing your questions and comments later.
Yeah.
So thanks so much.
Thanks, Julie. I'm Tracy Quillen. I'm the Associate Director for Humanities Kansas, and I'll be the point person for Declaration of Independence. And then also Caitlin Savage is our Operations Manager. She's the person to contact if you have any questions about your final report and accessing that. So she'll do a tutorial on that before we end the meeting today. But I wanted to get started and share my screen about Declaration 1776, the Big Bang, oops, got ahead of myself, of modern democracy. And just echo what Julie said. Thank you. Having your involvement in this project really enhances and expands the impact that we are able to have, again, from that, modest idea of 8 museums to now it's a statewide project with these really great institutions involved. So we're really looking forward to working with you over the next year. If you haven't worked with Humanities Kansas before, most of you have. So, but we are leading a movement of ideas in the state of Kansas. We've been doing that since 1972. And what that looks like is a lot of programming for the out of school adult public. So things like our Kansas history presentations, through our speakers bureau, traveling exhibitions. We're currently traveling the Smithsonian exhibition Americans through the state and about Native American history and culture. And these are just some of the things you do. And so we do. So we'll be adding Declaration 1776 to that roster in 2026. About Declaration 1776, if you haven't gone on and looked at the Gilder Lehrman website yet, I'll be showing you some images of it, but here's just here's an overview of what it looks like. There are 9 freestanding retractable panels, 7 from Gilder Lehrman and 2 from Humanities Kansas that we're creating especially for this exhibit. They are 33 by 81 inches, and they are printed on one side only. Now, the Gilder Lehrman website says that you need 30 running feet of space to display these exhibits, but they're not chronological. So you don't have to have them all in a line. I'll show you an example of how they have it set up, but I think you can display it however you like. So they can be displayed together or separately, whatever works best for your space. Each panel will come with its own carrying case, and we will ship the exhibit to you. I don't know. Are they getting the wheeled traveling case? You are not. This is only for our host sites. So each panel will come with its own carrying case. They'll be delivered to you. So you'll get 9 little carrying cases with the individual panels that will ship to you. We'll coordinate the shipping with Gilder Lehrman, so they will come directly to you. And you are welcome to supplement the exhibition any way you like. If you want to add hands-on activities, local displays, items from your own collection, whatever you like, that's up to you. And here's what the exhibit looks like when it is displayed all continuously. So this is one way to do it. They just have it all up in a row. This is from the Gilder Lehrman's website. Here's a close-up. And if you've ever set up pop-up banners before, they're very easy to do. You just pull them up. There's a pole that runs along the back, and you hook it at the top, the banner to the top of the pole. So they take relatively no time to set up. You just need a ladder, chair, maybe someone to spot you as you put them up. It's a close-up of the panels. So you can see they are very text rich and lots of primary illustrations and documents. And these are the themes that you'll see. So there's an introductory panel. There's a panel on the origins of the civil rights movement, the international spread of independence, a new birth of freedom, looking ahead to Emancipation Proclamation, women's rights, the fall of empires and proliferation of independent countries. So more of that global look at the impact of the Declaration of Independence, and then 20th century legacies. In addition to that, as I said, HK will provide 2 additional panels. We'll have a panel provided content from the State Historical Society about Kansas 1776, and a credit panel that will list our funders, have the map of the whole entire initiative, and just a big thank you to everyone involved. We'll also send you 100 copies of the text of the Declaration of Independence to distribute to guests for free or use however you like. Unfortunately, they won't look like the parchment versions with the great cursive script, but they will be printed in print, Times New Roman text, and you can make copies if you need to from the 100 that we send you. Gilder Lehrman includes detailed setup instructions with the rental. So they'll send, from my understanding, they have a basic setup instructions for all of their exhibition types. And we are the black plastic exhibition base based on the photos that I see. So they will send you those instructions. Just make sure you're setting up the right kind of base. And as I said, we'll ship the exhibition directly to you in mid-December. Hayes will work out who gets it first, if it's Fort Hays State or Hayes Public Library. So I'll contact you individually about that since you are co-hub sites for this project. The recommended exhibition security, we just don't want it outside at all. And they're just not meant to be outside. So indoors. However, once the exhibit's there, it's your exhibit for the run of the time. So you don't, I would recommend having regular walkthroughs just to make sure there isn't any damage to the exhibit when you have big groups. And if you're looking for resources related to Declaration 1776, the Gilder Lehrman website is just really rich with resources. They have a panel preview, historical documents you can access, videos, essays, there's recommended books, online courses, lesson plans. So if you're looking for things to supplement the exhibit or just prepare for it, or pick out some books to recommend if you're at a library or recommend to students. This is a great resource. I'll send a copy of this handout of this PowerPoint too, so you can access this information after the meeting. So who's all the hub sites? Who's joining you? We have Benedictine College, the Dole Institute of Politics at the University of Kansas, the Eisenhower Library, Museum, and Boyhood Home, the Kansas State Historical Society, Kansas Studies Institute at Johnson County Community College, and Tebow Library at Fort Hays State University and Hays Public Library are going to share the exhibition. They've also generously are sharing the exhibition with the Nicodemus National Historic Site as well. So this is your cohort, and we are really thrilled that we've got such a wide distribution across the state to have these anchor sites for the exhibition. This is what the entire tour looks like. Everywhere there's a red flag is somewhere the exhibit will be. As Julie said, most of these sites will only have the exhibit for a month, and then it'll move on to the next site. So this project really blossomed from a small kernel of an idea to a really great statewide discussion on the Declaration of Independence. And it's just great. It gives a little chill up my spine because Kansans want to talk about this. They want to get together and learn and talk about the Declaration of Independence and our nation's history. This is what the tours look like. So you can see if anyone's going to be near you. We've divided the tour into 4 simultaneous traveling exhibitions. So we've got the Jefferson tour, the Franklin tour, the Hancock tour, and the Adams tour. And those will be touring from January 3rd through December 31st, 2026. The full schedule is on our website, so you can see where it will be when. As far as publicity goes, we'll be promoting the exhibition tour statewide and the exhibition at your sites, your venues statewide, and we have sent the information to the Kansas 250 website as well. If you have any events beyond the exhibit, so if you host a panel discussion or you do a, Declaration of Independence Day or something at your location, let us know and we can promote it on our website. We have a really active calendar of events, and we would love to share that. We have a press release template that you can use to announce the exhibit on our website too, and the link is there. I can also send it to you if you need it. And the credit language is pretty straightforward. Declaration 1776, The Big Bang of Modern Democracy, is a traveling exhibition from the Gilder Lehrman Institute of American History. The exhibition's Kansas tour is presented by Humanities Kansas. If we receive Gilder Lehrman logos, we will send them on to you. But if we don't know if they're going to send them to us. Just use HK's logo in addition to your own when promoting the exhibition. And then we do, as Julie mentioned, we did some really active fundraising to expand this tour throughout the state. So we do have two funders, the state of Kansas through the Kansas Arts Commission and the National Endowment for the Arts, and the United Methodist Health Ministry Fund. Important information, and this is the meat of it. As I said before, don't display it outdoors, keep it indoors. Any damage to the exhibition is your responsibility. So if something is damaged and you need to have it replaced, you'll need to contact Gilder Lehrman to get that fixed. We encourage you to track attendance to the exhibit. It's really important for us to see, engagement levels, as I'm sure it is to you. So having someone with a clicker or doing head counts as people come in is great. Admission is free to all HK events. And if you do charge admission to your organization, if there is a time you can set aside where there is no admission that is required, or free Sunday afternoon or something like that, that really helps as many people as possible see the exhibit. And then we will have you track for our final report purposes. There's no monetary, this isn't a project where we're awarding a grant. You've, partnered with us to bring the exhibit to your community. But anything that you can track in terms of volunteer and staff hours, the value of your venue, publicity coverage. If you've ever done a Speakers Bureau project with Humanities Kansas, we send you a little sheet and says, did you have an article in the paper? That's worth $50, and just kind of tracking those things. Volunteer and staff hours would be the biggest thing. And then we will have a final report due just to give us the information on attendance and that cost share within 30 days of the exhibit closing in your community. And we will send you a reminder about that. In addition to the exhibit, we have some programming opportunities for Declaration at 250, and one is called our Declaration Conversations. These are facilitated conversations about the Declaration of Independence that are open to 20 nonprofit organizations. It's a competitive application process, and it has a $100 program fee associated with it. But those organizations that participate will have a facilitator come to their organization. There'll be readings and discussions of the Declaration of Independence. So it's a really great way to take a deep dive into the document and really discuss what it means with community members, neighbors, and so forth. And the deadline to apply for that is November 14th. We'll also have free Declaration Conversations toolkits that are available in January 2026, and those will be available to download. Anyone can use them. Again, guided questions, copies of the Declaration of Independence will be available. So you do those on your own. And then we'll have a new Kansas 1776 topic available November 1st, which I believe Adam, who's on the call, knows something about. One of our new speakers to the Speakers Bureau. So be on the lookout for that. A big reminder, and I'll have Julie jump in and talk about this too, is that Humanities Kansas is nonpartisan, and we understand conversations about the Declaration of Independence can organically lead to conversations about things going on in our country right now. But it's just really important to keep those conversations nonpartisan as much as possible. What this really means is if a candidate for election wants to use Declaration 1776 as the kickoff for their campaign, that is not something that we can be associated with. If somebody wants to put up signage, I know all of your organizations deal with these things, but it's just a good reminder that this is nonpartisan. And if you need any help or guidance on how to navigate some difficult conversations, just feel free to reach out to us. And Julie, anything to add to that?
I think that's really great. For us, the Declaration of Independence, we're looking at it as a historical document that has living interpretations, right? And so people will come if you do a public event and have something to say about drawing comparisons between then and now. And I think that will primarily happen with organizations who choose to use one of those declaration conversations. But in terms of the exhibition, you may have people who come in and have some comments as well. And so you'll just want to give a little bit of thought about how you want to handle that. Tracy's exactly right. We come in without an agenda, without anything that's sort of leaning to one political party or position than the other. And as Tracy pointed out, it's one of those things that you navigate this all the time. And so, it's like you're not going to use the Declaration of Independence exhibition as the background for a fundraiser for a particular political candidate or a particular political party, or to really make some sort of claim about any of those things I just said, right? But we also know that history is going to lead to conversations about current events. And so our only advice really is to give some thought in advance, especially for those people who might be on what I would consider the front line. So if you have the exhibition in a lobby by a reception area desk or something like that, that you make sure that the person who's sitting there or walking through the exhibit knows how to handle conversations that might sort of lean into wanting your organization to make a statement about a particular activity or event right now. So that's something that you'll just want to give a little advanced thought to. Humanities Kansas does not support any sort of partisan conversations in that way. We are not coming forward with an agenda. The words that you'll see in the Declaration of Independence are exactly as they were written at the time. And so just keep that in mind. And it's kind of a crazy time right now. And the more that you can be prepared for any sort of conversation, I think the easier you'll sleep at night. So
Yeah.
we're happy to help you navigate any of those conversations. But as Tracy pointed out, you handle this all the time. So there's nothing
Yeah.
that I'm saying that you don't already do. So
Yeah.
thanks so much for that.
Yeah. Just let history do the talking. Point to the document and the history of it. Aside from that, if there are any questions, I am, and I'll leave some time for questions at the end of this, but I am the contact for this project. So feel free to contact me if any questions come up between now and when the exhibit arrives and when the exhibit is in your community. And I'm happy to help with those. Um,
Tracy, we do have one question in the
yes.
chat box that I
Hmm.
see. Does
Okay.
the 30 running feet total include the two Kansas panels, or is the 30 running feet total just for the panels that are provided from the Gilder Lehrman?
It includes all the panels. So all 9 panels, 30 running feet. And as Julie said, the final report is short and straightforward, and we have tried to make this as seamless as possible for you. So we just, anything that we have helps us really make the case when we are talking to our legislators and all across the state that this is important and that Kansans want this and that we have strong partnerships throughout the
That's right.
state.
That's right.
Any,
And,
yeah.
donor
Mhm.
reports, right?
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you
We're all
know.
in that game. So use any of that information to your advantage too. This is a great opportunity for your institutions to really say we're part of something big, we're part of something special, and make a big deal about it. It's a national exhibition and it's a big party for the 250th in Kansas that you're part of.
That's right. I mean, our statewide distribution for conversations about the Declaration of Independence are undisputedly the broadest, most vast statewide coverage yet that we've
Yeah.
seen. So people
Yeah.
are looking at us
Mm-hmm.
because they're really excited about this idea of sort of this movement of ideas, right? This
Mm-hmm.
movement of revolutionary
Yeah.
ideas in some ways. And so we just really want to thank you for being those anchor
Yeah.
sites,
Yeah.
to sort of just, having that space and giving that space over for as much of the year as you want to. And Tracy's exactly right. Keep us posted if you do special events, whether or not they're open to the public. Just let us know. We're
Mm-hmm.
curious as to if faculty members are using this in their classrooms or whether public school kids are actually
Mm-hmm.
taking a hike to wherever. I know the Historical
Mm-hmm.
Society will be flooded with visitors because they'll be, just reopening them. And so we're just
Mm-hmm.
really interested in sort of the ways in which you're engaging and how we can help
Yeah.
publicize and promote that.
Yeah, exactly. And I haven't looked at other states yet, but I'm gonna say, Julie, and to everyone on this call, I kind of think we might be have the most compared to other states.
We are winning at
Yeah.
this game at the moment. Kansas for the win.
Nobody expects
And
Kansas to do it, but
that's right.
we come and surprise everyone all the time.
That's right.
Any other questions that I can answer to you before I turn it over to Caitlin for just a quick look at our grant platform? Okay.
Super
Um,
quick.
oh
Sorry,
yeah,
Trace. Give me a second to unmute. When we're done with the exhibit, do you want it back?
no.
What happened? Okay.
Yours to do with what you want. So
Cool.
we'll have 4 other exhibits that are touring that we'll have to determine what happens to those, but we do not want them back.
Case public, and we'll cut all our panels in half.
Yeah, yeah. They are yours to keep. Anything else? Okay. Caitlin's just gonna show you how to access that final report through our grant platform. So I will turn it over to her.
Hello, I am going to share my screen. Most of you guys have already logged into our grant platform to be able to sign your agreements. I'm unfortunately picking on somebody that has not had a chance to, and that's okay. But, okay. You will see when you log in, and if you need assistance with getting to that login, we can send it out in the email that we have. And then you can also always find it on our website to be able to get to the login page. But once you log in, you should see this page here. It will have your organization name, and then it should have your name up here in the corner. Over on the left-hand side, if you are not seeing this page and you are seeing our applications, just click the little house and that'll take you to your actual homepage that you need to be on. And then anything that you've had assigned to you. So all of you guys already had this grant award notification that many of you have already signed. And then this is also where you'll see your final report once it's assigned to you. And you'll start seeing this, little red alarm clock once it's due. It'll be yellow before it's due, just kind of to let you know. And then you can always just start those final reports from here. They're also going to be in this action needed. If you've already completed them, they're under this no action or this completed, depending on the back end if we have clicked a button. But all of that's always going to be right there in your grant platform. So anything that you need to sign, any reports you need to do, it's always going to be right there. It's also where you will go and you'll go back to that apply button and you can go and find those declaration conversations applications that Tracy was just talking about. Or once we have our new speaker added, that will be then on the speakers bureau as well. So that's where all of that's going to live, and it's all going to live under the same thing. The only thing I will say is that if you are not the person that is currently signed up for this website, but you need to be, let one of us know and we can change over the contact person so that it's your email address associated with your organization if you're going to be the one filling out that final report and you're going to be the person kind of that we need to email and contact about all of that. So, are there any questions about this website? I think most of you guys have gone on, or somebody from your organization has gone on. So
Great. Thanks, Caitlin. And yeah, I see that Julie has answered Adam's question in the chat. You all are exhibiting different times. So if any of those exhibit dates change, just let us know. But it's up to you, really, when you want to have it on display. And we'll just update our calendar on our end and when your final report is sent out. But Kansas Historical Society I have you January 1st through December 31st. So, Adam, if you guys don't want to be, or if you're not open on New Year's Day, we're happy to change that. So, yeah, it's going to be a really fun project, and we look forward to, um, you know, hearing stories along the way and take lots of photos and tell us how it's going. But yeah, expect those exhibits to arrive in mid-December. Um, and we will keep you posted on when they're shipped so that you can be sure to have someone there ready to receive all the bags as they
Yes.
come in. So
And I would just add, if you're thinking about sort of publicity and promotions, there aren't any partner sites in the communities where you as hub sites are. So the Dole Institute of Politics, you are the only site in Lawrence that will have the exhibition. The Kansas State Historical Society is the only site in Topeka that will have the exhibition. So you can really promote however you would normally promote whatever, it might be, just as an example. So it could be promoting to school groups, it could be promoting to the general public. It could be promoting for the, students at the universities, whatever it might be. Just keep in mind that we tried to make sure that you had something special as a hub site and an anchor site that the sort of the quick-lived partner sites don't have. So just
Yeah.
kind of keep that in mind. So
exactly.
okay.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for taking time out of your busy days. And we'll send a recording of this along to you so you can share it with colleagues. And then I'll also send a PDF of the PowerPoint as well. But any other questions you have, feel free to reach out. We're here to help. And we're excited for 2026. All right. Thanks, everyone.